friends, I'm here to talk to you about something extremely important today. Number 151 himself or slash herself, Mew. More specifically, Mewing. Mewing is a oral technique coined by the renowned Dr. Mew, who is an orthodontist, and he kind of states that the current epidemic of misaligned teeth can be attributed to the environment that throughout human history, the human species and all the ancestors before that, and most animals in the whole world, the occurrence of crooked teeth is extremely rare, but as we have become more civilized and have started eating softer, richer foods and no longer chewing like nuts and fruits all the time, our mouths have kind of changed to fit the environment. So what people do to kind of counteract the fact that their jaw is shifting and their teeth are getting crooked is they get braces. And in the West, the fixation is having a perfect smile is like, you know, it's a sign of beauty. Everybody wants their kids to have beautiful, perfect smiles. We all want to have good smiles. It looks good on camera. But if you go to other countries, particularly Europe and Japan, they don't have the same expectations or beauty standards regarding teeth. Interestingly enough, in Japan and some other Southeast Asian countries, crooked teeth is seen as kind of like a charming, cute thing. And maybe the idea behind that is that these people grew up in a civilized and they were well off, so they were not needing to chew so much. That may be kind of like the mentality behind something like that. And then obviously in America, it's like white, camera-ready teeth. That's what we have to have. So yeah, I found out about this through a video from this guy called What I Learned. Not everything I learned, the subreddit. No, What I Learned. And he has a lot of interesting like life hack videos. And maybe if you guys have been following Conrad and our content for the past couple of years, we have both talked about or alluded to this series of our body as a life hack, where we would try things like the Uberman sleep schedule or the keto diet for a while and just kind of vlog about our experiences. So this is kind of like the realization of that. So I watched this video and you know, I have to try it because I have a long history with crooked teeth. I've had braces twice. And I probably have to get my wisdom teeth removed soon, but luckily for me, my mouth has been very slow to develop. So I went on the mewing, that's what this is called, this technique, the mewing subreddit to learn more. And it's kind of interesting when you go on there because there is definitely a distinction between like the older users and the younger users because of the way that our skull and our jaw develops. It's very easy for, well, not easy, but it takes less mewing for a younger person's jaw to kind of correct itself, which is why, you know, kids get braces and, you know, if you're a grown-up, you're kind of a lost cause. So I go on the subreddit and there's like a ton of posts from people who are older who have just found out about this, who they're not necessarily projecting that they're like bitter or that they want other people to, you know, to suffer because they couldn't fix their teeth in time. You just like get like this group of sad kind of like doomer postings about, oh, like, if it wasn't too late for me, like, I'm doing this, but I'm only gonna see minimum results. And then you see on the other end of the spectrum, very like young, 16, 17-year-old people who have found the subreddit who have been able to completely change the look of their teeth, or jaw more specifically, because mewing doesn't straighten your teeth, it realigns your jaw. I probably am going to have some interesting pictures up on screen to kind of go along with my talk, but I don't want to say too much. I haven't really looked too much into what other specialists have said. My only source of information is the subreddit and the video that Dr. Mew put out on YouTube, which I will link in this video. Those are great, just resources to learn more about it. I'm not really so much interested in like, why is this working, as much as can I try this? Is it too late for me? The idea is kind of like after you're 25, you're kind of screwed. It's gonna take a lot longer, but you know, there might be still a little time left for me to fix some things I may not like about my teeth, although I do not expect results. Interestingly enough, I used to suffer a lot more from mouth breathing. I had really bad allergies as a kid, and I think that had a huge impact in how my jaw kind of formed. Yeah, I mean, I really wish that I had known sooner about this, and if I was a teenager, I would probably be on that subreddit every day talking about it and tracking my progress, and it's just another thing that, like, you know, young autistic hip kids can get into, so I decided to try it for myself. Throughout last week, I took a couple vlogs, basically just like describing where I was, what my headspace was, if I noticed any changes, so I'm gonna show some of those. Hey guys, officially day one of doing this. I started last night after we watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and then I scoured the subreddit and I saw there was like this huge guide, the one-on-one on Mewing. And I looked over, I'm gonna read over it again and make sure I'm doing it right, because like I am terrified of potentially hurting myself and having to go to the doctor, because there are people who will just like pop their jaw out of place or really hurt themselves, so this is kind of yeah, I want to make sure I'm doing it right. So I've mainly just been focusing on correct tongue posture. So I kind of like instinctively have been doing this since I was probably like 16 or 17. I had braces twice growing up, and I don't know, just like my teeth quickly went back into the fucked up mess they were, and it's like, oh, you're gonna have to wear a retainer for the rest of your life, and it's really kind of like you're trying to tell a 13-year-old kid with no discipline to keep track of this retainer that just like, it's so uncomfortable and it makes you drool, and I like really was just, why do I have to keep doing braces shit for the rest of my life? That sounds like a nightmare, you know? So I didn't ever wear my retainer, and I kind of have a weird face because of it, but I mean, I just don't think it's like that important to have perfectly straight teeth, and especially when I was like a kid and I really didn't care much about, you know, looks at all. I was a tomboy. I was just like, why do I care if my teeth are a little bit crooked? Like, they are still functional, I could still eat. Yeah, but I eventually kind of just like instinctively started putting my tongue on the roof of my mouth, and when I started doing this, my allergies actually got better. Yeah, and it's interesting to kind of think that like, because I had a lot of allergies growing up and I had pets and stuff, I think that I may have been like kind of a mouth breather, and that's probably, you know, has created some misalignment, and it's just kind of sad. It's like, I wish I had known that like allergies would have ruined my jaw. I wish I would have known that I could have had correct tongue posture all this time and like saved a lot of money and a lot of like, you know, it's just kind of like, I'm really glad this stuff exists now if it works, but like, again, I'm kind of terrified, like what if I fuck my jaw? Yeah, so I'm gonna go read through the FAQ again, maybe look up some YouTube videos. It seems pretty straightforward, but like, I have kind of that thing like where I talk out the side of my mouth, like as Peach Saliva infamously, you know, it's the detection of a lesbian is a woman who talks out of the side of her mouth. But like, because I do that, like I don't know, the muscles on this side of my face are like stronger, and like I just want to like make it this way, I guess. So we'll see if this will have any impact in a week. I don't think so. Most people like don't really see any differences, but I mean, if this helps with my allergies, if this just makes it so it's easier to breathe, that would be cool. Also, you know, I think it'd be a funny thing. Good luck, future me. Oh boy. It's day 1 of the Mewing My Body is a Life Hack series. How do you feel about me doing this for the past day?
Well, you usually look like kind of sad or upset when you're doing it because like just the way that your jaw comes forward is like a pouty look. So it's kind of like RBF, you know?
Yeah. My mom literally suffers from RBF IRL.
I mean, your mom probably breathes correctly and has her jaw in the right place.
Yeah, I feel like that's true.
So, you know, I think, I don't know. I have the same exact problem. This is my natural bite. As you can see, it is extremely incorrect. And when I open and close my jaw, you'll see it is not even aligned. So it's all fucked up. And so for me, doing this is like, doing it actively is very stressful on my muscles. But it does, like, I had no idea that you're supposed to breathe the way that you are, and it makes breathing way easier, so
So you've been doing this too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, on and off, just randomly, just because mostly because of the breathing benefits, and just it's interesting to put my mouth in that form, and like, you know, it's almost like my body is telling me, hey, now that you know this, you should probably do it, because it'll probably help you in the future.
It feels weird for me not to do it,
Reshape your face. Reshape your face.
It's definitely weird talking, because like I'm trying to talk in such a way that my jaw is...
Yes, this is how I would be if I was trying to talk in such a way as that
yeah,
my jaw
but it
is
like
correct.
It changes, I think,
well,
everything.
Well, it causes me to need to say the whole word like this.
Like, oh my
like
gosh.
a white person, as parodied by Riley on the Boondocks. White people say the whole word like this.
That's racist. So it's day 4 that I've been practicing mewing. Missed a couple of days just because there isn't really that much interesting things to talk about. It is very difficult for me to talk and do it. My mouth gets like really wet. Like that's kind of the same problem I had with a retainer. It's just like too much spit. And it's, you know, it's good when I'm being quiet, but when I'm talking, it's hard. Also, when I talk, I do this thing where I kind of talk out of the right side of my mouth. And I never really realized how much and how extreme it is at all until I started doing this, and I can like slowly feel my jaw creeping over to the right. And I think that has a lot to do with kind of like the asymmetry in my face. Is just that the muscles in my face are like kind of used to being pulled down. And I mean, it's not like super noticeable except for like when I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh my god, my fucking eyes are like completely on different planes of existence. But it's no big deal. Yeah, it's been very difficult for me to keep my mouth in the position for long periods of time. I often have to manually adjust my mouth, like push it, make sure it's even. I also have the problem where, hey, look at my bottom teeth. Like, there's a lot of crowding down there. My bottom jaw is like way smaller than the top of my mouth. So I don't really know how good this is to be doing, but I really enjoy the tongue posture thing. I think there's a lot of benefits to that, but we'll keep doing it. I mean, like I've said before, when I was younger, I used to kind of do my own version of mewing, which was just bringing my bottom jaw, like letting it rest further up than it naturally would. It's kind of a technique I developed when I'd go to the orthodontist or the dentist, and I didn't want them to yell at me for not wearing my retainer, I would just kind of the whole day like bring it forward and be like this, and eventually it would naturally kind of fall that way. Yeah. Oh boy. Only 3 more days. Another kind of like life hack thing that's going on is I am doing a 3-day fast. I've done this before. I did this like 2 months ago in preparation for Corona-chan because there are lots of studies that link fasting temporarily to improved immunity, and also you just feel good. Like the first 2 days are a struggle, and I really wouldn't recommend like going too long. It's definitely not something like, this is not to lose weight. When you start eating again, you have to like remember that, you know, nutrition is really important. It actually helps you kind of appreciate the food that you're eating when you're fasting. So I'm excited to kind of update on that too, because when I finish the Mewing challenge, I'll also be able to eat again. But I'll talk more about why I'm doing that, I think, on the last day. But oh boy. Yeah, my body is a life hack. Let's see how fast I regret this. Hopefully I don't break my jaw. But I haven't really noticed any pain or anything. Conrad is kind of saying that it hurts for him. The only kind of like pain is these teeth that are kind of crowded, and I can like feel some kind of pressure for those teeth to kind of align more. So I don't know if over time this will like improve the bottom half of my mouth, but I have my doubts on that. Oh boy, I definitely think that people overhype this. I don't think it's like going to make a dramatic change at all if you are doing this for even a whole year, but I do think tongue posture is something that like we should all be educated about and practice. So I'll update you guys in 3 more days, and hopefully I'll have a snacky poo before I do that. But yeah, good luck, happy mewing if you are doing this with me. Let's see where life takes us. Oh, also, Conrad cleaned up this room. Let me just like walk around and show you guys. It's all the ball scrolls. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's something from the Rad House. And we also put all of Econ's stuff in containers and in shelves, and there's so much more space in here. This room used to be a fucking hoarding nightmare, and Conrad was like, oh, I can clean this, and I'm just like, why do you even want to? Like, this is too much shit. Like, why do we let people do this? And why do we let so many people leave their shit with us? But actually, it all fits really nicely, so I'm just gonna show you that bookshelf really quick. I don't actually know if I can, how well you guys can see that because I'm using the front-facing camera. But yeah, we got this shelf, I think, from Target, but you can see that it like goes far back, and then all these crates. But yeah, that'll be really fun to go through. I saw that Miles from Crunchyroll is doing this thing on Twitter where for every like he would go through and talk about something on his bookshelf. So that actually sounds kind of fun. I might do a challenge like that in a couple of days. Yeah, and just like kind of go through the stuff that we have, because I really haven't actually looked at a lot of it. Right here I see like a Little Witch Academia. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But I gotta get to making today's vid. Also, shout out to Tom. If you guys are watching this, you've probably already seen the live stream, and it's been a couple of days, but one of his games came out, Ninja Suffering. It's a mobile game. Oh my gosh. I am excited to play it, but yeah. Peace out, guys. Bye. Alright, so today we are on day 8. So I started the challenge at night. I started it right after watching that YouTube video. So I didn't start it in the morning, so it kind of confused me a little bit about what would be a day, but I'm counting each night I go to sleep. That sleep cycle is like the first thing that happens in the day, and then the end of the day is kind of the end of that cycle, I guess. So yeah, it's day 8. It's late. It's very late for me to be filming today's video, but that's what you get. So yeah, I was gonna make an update video yesterday, but I really wanted to do that AMV for Conrad's songs. That took priority. That's kind of the great thing about, you know, having your own channel is you get to decide when something needs to come out or what needs to be prioritized. And let's face it, my teeth are not shifting fast enough for a single day to make that big of a difference. So the most difficult thing I've noticed for me is my tongue is too big for my fucking mouth because my bottom jaw is too small. I also learned while I was searching online that you know, this crease right here needs to align with this crease, and this tooth is like, it's very hard for me to tell if it's aligned or not. And I think that my crooked bottom teeth are a result of the braces, because the braces kind of like artificially will straighten your teeth but not your jaw. So when you go around and try to correct your jaw, your teeth are gonna get messed up. And yeah, I mean, I've kind of like been trying to artificially, I don't know if that's the right word, but like just overcorrect my overbite. So I definitely have noticed, because I started doing this in high school, probably around when I was 16. Yeah, your jaw will come forward and you'll have kind of like a fuller face and your cheekbones will look higher. So I definitely do think that did something, but like it also at the detriment of my bottom teeth. Now, the Dr. Mew suggests like getting a permanent retainer, and I can't help but think of Ed and Eddie, that fucking kid with like the thing around his mouth. Is that what that is? Cause I don't care that much about having straight teeth. And that's kind of like where this is coming down to, is like, for me, I'm more concerned about the practical benefits of having your teeth like this, which is just, it's easier to breathe. It gives your mouth more space for your teeth. And that's about it. It's just like, it's right, you know, it's correct. You know, also the added fact that it could improve your looks is good, but it could also make your teeth crooked, so I'm not like too worried about that, I guess. But the fact of the matter is like, it's not really that interesting for me to keep up with like the subreddit for this, just because, I mean, I know the basics of it. It's always cool to see kind of like the science behind it, but I don't really need a community to kind of support me through the fact that I'm lifting my tongue to the roof of my mouth. One other interesting thing I kind of learned while I was researching is called, it's the correct way to swallow. So one reason why Dr. Mew thinks our teeth have become misaligned and weird is because we stop breastfeeding relatively early and move on to baby food, and babies never really like learn to chew a whole lot, so our mouth kind of recedes because we do not need to have so much force. Only problem is it looks fucking wrong, so that's why. Yeah, basically you want to swallow with your tongue and not suck on your teeth. I wonder if moving away from straws will help, because when I use a straw, I feel like it's like that sucking motion. I drink a lot of things out of straws, so maybe just not doing that. Maybe that would be a good thing to take away from this. But yeah, overall, like, I didn't really notice any difference. This is my profile, I guess. I'll show you what it looks like when I am mewing and when I'm not mewing, I guess. So this is how I normally like look. Yeah, it's very difficult for me to talk and chew with my mouth correct. So let me mew right now. Okay, I'm mewing, and this is what it looks like from the side of my mouth. I don't know. That's what the posture looks like. So Yeah, like, basically no difference for me so far. It's easier to breathe. Working out, I try to mew, but like sometimes I have to pant because I am a weak boy. But yeah, it was fun. I probably may update this video in like 6 months or a year if I continue to like it. Or if something bad happens, I'll update. But this is gonna be the end of My Body is a Life Hack Season 1. Mewing. Bye guys!